Barcelona are the most overrated club of all time. Hi guys, and welcome back to another week of TFW, the footballing show dominated by all of your opinions alongside my trusty iPad. Let's get straight into it on a mad weekend of football. So first up, and Zeus Hack has said, unpopular opinion, Barcelona are the most overrated club of all time. We're starting the show with a strong one. Messi never comes up in big matches and he is only half-decent player in the entire squad. Imagine calling Messi half-decent. He is the Morata of 2020. And the only reason Barcelona was successful was due to their earlier talent like Xavi, Iniesta, Puyol, etc. That little end bit, yes, of course they were successful when they had better players in the team like Xavi, Iniesta and Puyol, obviously. If you've got better players throughout the team, you're going to be a better team. Barcelona are not the most overrated club of all time. Saying that Messi never comes up in big matches, it's too easy to sort of pin that on him. Obviously, you'd expect him to do more. I'm not like denying that at all. I think he was very, very poor against Bayern Munich, very poor in the second leg against Liverpool last season. Other times they've gone out, he hasn't been at his best. But it's still a team sport. It's still a team sport, and I think saying they're the most overrated club of all time is outrageous because you don't win that many trophies by chance. Having like a team that wins one trophy or a player who has one good season and saying they're overrated and they're just remembered because of one good thing, yes. But Barcelona being the most overrated club of all time, that's ridiculous. And that's also offensive to Morata, who, I mean, he wasn't like terrible. He wasn't great, but he wasn't terrible as he in that Atletico. Yeah, that's pretty strong, and it's probably why it's an unpopular opinion. Next up, it's VVR said, unpopular opinion. Another one, I've watched Bundesliga. Good. And Nagelsmann a lot, and he is one of the best tacticians ever, and he can easily change or carry a team, even with average players, which others can't do. So I think Barca should appoint him as coach by one good defender and 21-year-old Diet Upamecano. I would tend to agree, actually. Nagelsmann is a pretty good coach. You've seen what he's done at Hoffenheim. He did so well at Hoffenheim that a few years ago, Real Madrid actually offered him the job when he was like 29, 30 years old, and he turned it down, thought he had some more development to do. And if you listen to him talk as well, he really is clued up. Like, he really does have a good idea of not only how he's coaching, but as you say, how he can adapt and change the team. With Hoffenheim to Leipzig, that was a step up in players, and the players fitted the system better, and he's getting better results. Like, he's a really, really good coach. As for replacing, first off, that Diet Upamecano rumour, I don't think it's going to happen. The rumour, because I think he's signing a new deal at Leipzig to 2023. Anyway, as for replacing Setien, that is such a tough job. The reason I say so is because Xavi is one of the ones mentioned, and I mentioned this on the Daily News. Xavi is mentioned about coming in 2021. So which manager worth any, who values themselves pretty highly, is going to come into Barcelona for 1 year knowing that Xavi's going to replace him next year? Personally, I think Barcelona should go for a manager who's going to take them for the next 2 years, and Xavi can wait. Xavi's not even 40 yet. He's got plenty of time in his coaching career to take the Barcelona job. He might as well get more experience and, let someone else have it for a few more years. There's no rush for Xavi to be pushed into the job, because if he fails, he's ruined his one shot, like his one chance at the Barca job. So funnily enough, in the Onefootball newsroom, they wrote an article today giving 5 potential replacements for Setien. So we'll go through them here. So first off is Ronald Koeman. Got an opportunity to leave the Netherlands job if Barcelona come calling again. I'm not so sure he's the right man. He's a club favourite because of what he did at the club. But if you look at his recent club jobs, especially at Everton, I'm not so sure he's ready for that kind of big rebuilding strategy. Basically, any manager who comes in has got the tough decision, or do they let Messi continue to dictate the play and basically be a good team that always relies on Messi, or do they get rid of him, which is outrageous, especially if he wants to leave, which apparently Messi does, and then rebuild Barcelona? That's one hell of a job. I'm not sure Koeman is the best. Pochettino, again, he was the next one, said he wouldn't because of Espanyol. I'm not sure he'll actually come in. Xavi, we've spoken about him, not until next year. Allegri is available, would definitely be the best in terms of a CV of a winner, for sure. And also Thierry Henry is a bit of an outside shot as a former player. I don't think Henry is going to happen. Personally, I think if Guardiola's situation gets worse at Manchester City, he should go back. It's very complicated, Guardiola and Barcelona behind the scenes. But in terms of a natural fit for the team and a quality manager, I can't really look past Guardiola. Anyway, next up, Samir7YT has said, another unpopular opinion here. Rashford is the most overrated player in the Premier League. Oh, Lord. Like, where do some people come up with these? He is overhyped by the English media, and most of his goals are from the penalty or the number 9 position. Well, that's not true, because Bruno Fernandes takes penalties, so I don't know where you're getting this from. Also, Rashford in the number 9 position, isn't that where he's supposed to be? Isn't that where all strikers are supposed to be? In the middle, scoring goals? I don't quite know where you want Rashford to be. If Sancho comes in, he straight replaces Rashford, no doubt. No, he doesn't. Sancho's a right winger. Rashford plays on the left with Martial through the middle. I'm not sure, Samir, if you've watched any Manchester United games, but this is not what happens. Rashford is not the most overrated player in the Premier League. I think Rashford is a brilliant talent. It's easy to forget he's still just 21 and like carrying a lot of pressure for Manchester United in a young front three. Yeah, the most overrated player in the Premier League. Not having it. Not buying that at all. Bill Goat said, unpopular opinion. At the moment, Lyon have been the best team after lockdown because they've knocked out 2 of the biggest clubs in the Champions League. They have knocked out 2 of the biggest clubs in the Champions League. They have not been the best team after lockdown. In fact, the French league was stopped during the initial stages of the lockdown, which means since they've come back in competitive matches, they've lost to PSG on penalties in the French Cup final. They then lost to Juventus, but technically still made it through because of the away goals, and then had a good game against Manchester City and won. So the best team post-lockdown, when they've only played 3 games and lost 2 of them. Not quite right, but yeah, they have knocked out 2 of the biggest teams in the Champions League. I know that Lyon, their story is amazing and it's super exciting, but coming up against Bayern Munich, who did that to Barcelona, I can't predict anything because it's the Champions League. But you'd be a fool if you think that that Bayern are going to lose to Lyon. Bayern have been ridiculous, and it wouldn't shock anyone in football to see them absolutely smash Lyon. And talking of this is a rather interesting topic. Next up, Debayud Mukherjee has said, is the Farmers League theory now over? It's not now over because it never was a theory in the first place, and if you think it was, then you need to watch more football. The Farmers League theory is utterly ridiculous to think that any team is just any league is easy. The same team may win it year after year, granted, but you're completely ignoring the rest of the league and the competitiveness of it. The Farmers League isn't dictated just by who wins it every year. Because you could say that England was the Farmers League this year because Liverpool did so well, where in fact the race from 2nd to 8th for the Champions League spots was so intense and went down to the final day, and there's some fantastic teams and players in there. The same thing with the Bundesliga. Up until the restart, anyone could have won the title. From Leipzig to Dortmund to Bayern Munich, yes, they came through it at the end. PSG obviously dominating, although to be fair, Monaco won it in 2017. So it's not exactly PSG have had it their own way. I mean, Inter Milan only finished 1 point behind Juve, and after lockdown, there were talk that Lazio and Atalanta could also win it as well. So yeah, if you're talking about the Farmers League in terms of winning, you need to look at the title races, and if you're talking about it overall, you need to look at some of the other brilliant teams and brilliant players who move from these leagues and make other teams absolutely better, like 110% better. I mean, look at the likes of, I don't know, N'Golo Kante and Riyad Mahrez, for example. They came out of the French league, a supposed Farmers League, and turned Leicester into champions of the Premier League. So it couldn't have been that bad. There's also a lot of other players who move around who are utterly fantastic. I think the French league gets a lot of a bad rap. Benjamin Pavard's another one. Brilliant, brilliant player. In fact, the French league being called a Farmers League when they produced every single player in that World Cup winning team is utterly ridiculous. I think Antoine Griezmann was the only one who hadn't played in French football, I believe. Or maybe Paul Pogba as well, in terms of first team French football. Yeah, 2 players out of the 23-man squad. Anyway, yes, the Farmers League theory is now over. Now there are 2 French sides and 2 German sides in the semi-final of the Champions League. But if you believed it before, shame on you. Suraj Gopinath has said, Manchester City need more Champions League winners in their team if they desire to win the Champions League. They have spent money on these players rather than players like Stones and Ake, who I don't think are great enough to help them win the Champions League. By the way, great video and I really enjoy them. Thank you, Suraj, but I don't agree with your opinion. If Manchester City needed more Champions League winners in their team, how does a team like Leipzig or Lyon make it to the semis when they don't have any Champions League winners in their team? Or PSG, apart from Neymar? That doesn't make any sense. Surely they don't have winners, but they're still in the semi-finals. In fact, there is definitely going to be a team of non-Champions League winners in the Champions League final. So what you're saying about Man City doesn't quite make any sense. I mean, last year, Ajax and Spurs were in the semis, and neither of them had any Champions League winners in the team. So, yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously Spurs lost in the final, but even then, Liverpool had one Champions League final before that, and had won the Champions League in 2005. I'm trying to think who was a Champions League winner in last season's Champions League winning team from Liverpool. I believe Xherdan Shaqiri was. He'd won it a few times with Inter and Bayern. Who else was in there? I think that was pretty much it. You guys let me know. There might have been another Champions League winner in that team, but not from memory. Not that I can remember. So yeah, I'm not quite sure I agree with that. You need to have a lot of things to win the Champions League. Yes, a strong bit of luck, good decisions and good performances at the right minutes. I think Manchester City's is down to Guardiola putting in a poor tactical performance and team selection, rather than actually having winners, because you've seen them do exceptionally well against unbelievable teams. Real Madrid are a team full of Champions League winners. Manchester City aren't, but they beat Real Madrid 4-2 on aggregate. So I'm blowing that theory out of the water. Diego 2K7, very unpopular opinion. Oh, we're getting serious now. Money cannot buy you a Champions League. As we've seen with Man City, their takeover can certainly build a good team, but it cannot win you a Champions League. Again, if money doesn't buy you a Champions League, Real Madrid spent a fair bit of money putting that team together to win Champions Leagues. Barcelona definitely put a lot of money into winning that Champions League in 2015. Liverpool spent a hell of a lot of money before winning the Champions League last year. PSG spent crazy money and they're in the Champions League. So, again, I feel like money doesn't buy you a Champions League in the traditional sense of you're thinking you could just buy an amazing team and it instantly wins you the Champions League, but money does win you the Champions League. Like, look how much teams have either spent or, you know, in a season or two prior to winning the Champions League, or historically how big they are. Like, yeah, would Chelsea have won the Champions League before before Roman Abramovich took over? Don't think so. Florentino Perez spends a load of money, and Real Madrid won a load of Champions Leagues. Again, same thing, Barça, Liverpool, whoever else has won it, Bayern Munich. I think money can buy you a Champions League, just not instantaneously. Ahiyada Garuba said, opinion, but not really. This is a very good question, actually. You were referring to something I said earlier. It said, earlier this year, Matt, you said the central attacking midfielder position seemed to be going out of favour due to the evolution of football. But we see central attacking midfielders such as Bruno Fernandes, Kai Havertz and Thomas Müller flourish. Do you still think the position is out of favour in modern football? I still think it is, ever so slightly, because other players aren't adapting to other roles. These players who you're talking about in the central attacking midfielder position are very, very unique. I think Kai Havertz doesn't always play there. He's often played off the right-hand side for Bayer Leverkusen. Switched to a central midfielder position as well. Can play as a deep-lying striker. He's really adapted his game to play in different positions. Who was the other one that said? Thomas Müller. Thomas Müller is one of the OGs who can still do it. Phenomenal at finding space, a really sort of unique player in his own right. Again, can get into the box as more of a striker too. And Bruno Fernandes, Bruno Fernandes is probably one of the last few. I think the one I was talking about was players who can only play that position. Like Mesut Ozil was one I was talking about, if I remember correctly, and Philippe Coutinho as well. Not intelligent enough to play a deeper role, or disciplined enough to play a deeper defensive role in central midfield, not quick or athletic enough to play a wide role, not smart enough or more of a clinical finisher to play a forward role. So those guys, like Ozil, Coutinho, are the ones who have grown up in the number 10 and they're glued to it. That is it. You move them out of that position, they're not very effective. For those of you who are going to point to 15 minutes of Coutinho scoring 2 against an already battered Barcelona, don't bother, that's not a very good sample size. But yeah, I still think the evolution of football does take out the central attacking midfielders, or it forces them to be better elsewhere. Like I said with Havertz, forces them to take on more ability, take on more roles, be better elsewhere, and be capable of being productive all around the rest of the pitch, rather than just in that hole. Because as we've seen with Ozil, if you don't play to his strengths, or you don't play him in the right position, it's pretty much useless. And I think that's where central attacking midfielders are being phased out. But the other guys, yeah, as you mentioned, Fernandes, Havertz and Müller have been brilliant. Lastly but not least, Ramsey Hussein said, hottest, I think he means hottest opinion. Football is the most beautiful sport. It is not matched by another. What a brilliant way to end the video. Yes, it is a beautiful sport. Yes, nobody could have predicted what happened in the Champions League, and I will not make any predictions for the rest of the Europa League or Champions League, because as we've proven, absolutely anything can happen in football. A brilliant way to end the show, so thank you for that, Ramsey. But of course, that is all for me for TFW for this week. Thank you so much for all of your opinions in the community tab on a Sunday night. Please continue to leave them there. Smash the like button if you've enjoyed this video, and check out all the other stuff we've got going on at Onefootball around here somewhere on the screen. That's all from me though, and until next time, I will see you guys later.